I am working here without a contract. I'm not even on payroll anymore. I'm working here on a handshake deal.
Cody Rhodes joining WWE. Come on now.
Welcome back to the big leagues, bitch.
Oh, damn. Oh, damn. It actually happened. But you know what? Nothing can get crazier than that.
Sasha Banks and Naomi let us all down. Their actions disappointed millions of WWE fans.
Okay, things are a little out of control, but I think we've already seen the worst of it all.
He is under investigation over allegations in the Wall Street Journal that he agreed to pay $3 million in hush money to a former employee over an affair.
Stephanie McMahon is now interim CEO and interim chairwoman.
The time is 9:54 a.m. You are under arrest for the offense of DUI, okay?
I want you to fire me! You fucking mark! Fire me! Fire me!
What the fuck is going on right now in the WWE and the rest of the wrestling world?
I have no fucking idea. I have no idea what to think there.
Yeah, what's going on?
I have no clue. This is a very fascinating thing.
2022 has been one of the most preposterous years in wrestling history. With each week that passes, there's a new unbelievable headline that makes your jaw drop. To kick things off, Cody Rhodes did the unthinkable, becoming a free agent and leaving AEW, the company he started, to return to WWE. Shane McMahon was then fired by his own father. MJF gets into beef with Tony Khan, no shows a meet and greet, and almost disappears right before Double or Nothing. Don't forget about the pipe bomb. Stone Cold returns to the ring after 19 years of retirement with 2 busted knees. Vince McMahon also comes back to wrestle at 76 years old and nearly dies from a stunner gone wrong. Triple H announces his retirement from in-ring competition after his heart attack. Sasha and Naomi walk out on Raw, become suspended, and soon to be possibly released. Stephanie McMahon leaves WWE for the first time in 2 decades. Roman Reigns wins the Undisputed Championship and then becomes a part-timer. CM Punk wins a World Championship after 7 long years, only to suffer a severe injury, putting him on the shelf. In the middle of his biggest push, Cody Rhodes tears his pec, but still battles inside Hell in a Cell with the gruesome injury. Randy Orton is out of action for the rest of the year with a back injury after carrying the company for a decade. Jeff Hardy has weapons pointed at him and is arrested for his 3rd DUI. And most shocking of all, Vince McMahon is being investigated and steps down as CEO, leading to Steph coming back to take over. As you can see, 2022 has clearly been one of the most bizarre years in wrestling history. The WWE is out of control, and this begs the question, why? Why is all this happening? Well, I think I have the answer. To fully comprehend the current state of the WWE, you have to take a look at the outside world. You see, wrestling has always been a reflection of society. Promotions have consistently evolved their products to specifically align with each generation meeting their precise desires. And nobody has been doing it better than Vincent Kennedy McMahon. And that is typically how most successful businesses operate. We got plenty of evidence over the course of the last 40 years, starting with the 80s.
You shall feel the wrath of Hulkamania. This is where the power lies.
The 80s were a thrilling time for Americans. The entertainment bubble exploded throughout this decade, and there was a real shift in the industry. TV was no longer exclusive. Over-the-top movies like Back to the Future, Ghostbusters, and Star Wars were born. Meanwhile, everyone was watching MTV at home, and patriotism was booming after Ronald Reagan became president. Therefore, Vince McMahon provided that generation with over-the-top cartoonish characters like Macho Man Randy Savage, the Ultimate Warrior, and Mr. American himself, Hulk Hogan. Fans attended shows to see their superhero-like wrestlers take their vitamins, say their prayers, and defeat the villains. That era did not last forever though, which brings us to the 90s.
You can kiss my ass.
The 90s were the complete opposite. The traditional zombification of classic families was old news. The people of this time wanted to be rebellious and they wanted to see anti-authority figures, and that is how WWE managed to manufacture one of their hottest stars ever, Stone Cold Steve Austin. He was the definition of anti-authority and anti-hero. The success of Austin's career is accredited to his relatability with that audience. The 90s kids wanted some attitude, and the WWE provided that. To be quite honest with you, WWE still struggles to create the magic from this era. That is how legendary this was. However, it did come to an end.
Ruthless aggression.
The 2000s saw people move past their rebel phase. This generation was growing with technology into the modern world, giving a perfect mix of the internet and real life. The result of this led to modern wrestling that focused on ruthless aggression and in-ring competition. Young, bright athletes like John Cena, Randy Orton, and Batista made a name for themselves, while the legends like Triple H, Shawn Michaels, and The Undertaker adapted. The 2000s was a really fun time in wrestling, but the times changed as well as the WWE when technology became more prominent in the world.
Welcome to SmackDown.
And now here we are in 2022, and that was literally a clip of Vince McMahon showing up to SmackDown the day he stepped down as CEO because of his ongoing investigations. You wouldn't expect him to receive a pretty positive reaction from the audience, but he did. There were even some people bowing down for him. Vince McMahon is being embraced by the fans after a scandal, while the internet is vilifying him. That perfectly explains the current generation. It's an extremely compelling time. We've entered the reality era. It is pure chaos because this generation of people are remarkably opinionated while simply disregarding any of the negative opinions of others. Although they will acquire some hate, because of the advancement of technology and social media, they'll also gather some positive reactions. People are not afraid to genuinely be their authentic self, even if it makes them a polarizing figure. It started when the former US president began to act like this, and it's safe to say that others followed the actions of the biggest figure in the world at the time. That is why MJF has been tenaciously vocal about his ordeal with AEW. He's got haters and supporters. We see an identical scenario with Sasha Banks and Naomi after their walkout on Raw. You've got half of the audience believing that the two ladies should be treated better while the other half wants them fired. Basically, you can say and do whatever you want nowadays. Because society has become so raw and unfiltered, we're seeing it unfold in professional wrestling. When you also consider that AEW has become a promotion that's able to pay WWE dollars, all hell has broken loose, and I love it. The drama over the last 6 months has been complete anarchy. Wrestling is so wild and unpredictable that it's become unadulterated entertainment, something it wasn't for so long. The lines between fiction and reality are blurred more so than ever before, and that is when wrestling is at its best. Welcome to the reality era. Look, I don't think a single person, a single soul could have ever predicted the things that happened this year that are on the screen right now. It looks like an alternate timeline, maybe something that would happen in a video game. But that's the thing about the reality era. It's outlandish and doesn't really make sense. What a crazy year. And the year is far from over. We got 6 more months, and this is just the beginning.